Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Client Side Chats. I am very thrilled to have our guest on today, Ron Gantt. Ron is actually, we like to call him the guru of safety toys and fun things, for Reflect Group. I know you're laughing, Ron, because we kind of talked about this just prior to this. But hey, just a reminder, don't forget to follow us on our Facebook and LinkedIn social media pages, as well as our Vimeo and YouTube. But like I said, we have Ron Gantt today. Really looking forward to this conversation. Ron, welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to
Yeah,
be
absolutely. Now, for the audience, a lot of people don't realize. Now, Ron and I aren't exactly clients, and I know it's client side chats, but we've actually worked together on a couple of clients, and we've also done some work together, and have a fond memory of a impromptu presentation we did together for ASSP here at the San Francisco Symposium. So, San Francisco San Jose Chapter Symposium. Those were fun times, weren't they, Ron?
Oh, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, just made it up as we went along, and it somehow turned out pretty good, I
It
thought.
really did. I can't believe it. We had high marks, probably the best high marks I've had, but I give credit to you on that one. So,
Oh, you killed it.
so anyway, we're kind of changing our direction of our discussions and things. And really, I thought, you being definitely a thought leader in the safety arena and a leader, period. I mean, I look to you that way, and I know many people who do um, look to you that way as well. But kind of, we've come out of this COVID situation, and really, I know you're thinking beyond that point too. But where do you see us going in the future? What direction do you think safety has for the future now?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a challenging time. It continues to be a challenging time. I think one of the things that we need to be focusing on in safety, and you and I have talked about this a lot, is
Hmm.
I think we can no longer see safety as just a technical field. Safety is a social field that has technical aspects to it, right? And I mean, that's the essence of a pandemic, right? A disease moves through populations because of our socialness, right? Who we are as humans. And I think there's a lot of what we do that's related to that. So I think the safety professional of the future needs to get really good at understanding how people relate to one another and to the work environment. And I think COVID is really teaching us that because of how much disruption to the work environment and to our interactions there are. That's something I think we're going to need to get really good at moving forward.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's a very good thought about that, looking at it from a social aspect. Certainly I think we've taken that component for granted up until this point. And now we're being faced with doing things, well, just like this. I mean, you and I have talked about getting together on a regular basis. This is the way we actually can do it right now from a safety standpoint for the moment. And these kinds of things may continue to affect us into the future as well. I mean, would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And it's a good example of the kind of thinking that we're going to need to have in the future. It's moving away from just thinking about in terms, safety in terms of only thinking of hazards and risks to thinking about resilience and capacity, right? So, like for example, we have resources in our organization that we use for certain things, but they have the capacity to enable us to do other things. And if we can identify, like Zoom, most of us had Zoom accounts or some version thereof
Hmm.
before this. If we could identify that, okay, Zoom, we use that for X, but if we needed it, it's also good for ID, et cetera, et cetera. That gives us the ability to adjust as things are changing and, do so in ways that actually are not really resource intensive. So like identifying the needs and then identifying your capacities, that's the goal, I think.
Yeah, and I think it does set up a challenge. Again, I'm kind of circling back to the social aspect because we are so reliant about being present on site with a lot of things that are going on and observational, which is an important aspect of what we do. I mean, do you see those things becoming challenges into the future? And maybe a better way of looking at it is, how do you see this progressing into the future as we move forward?
Yeah, no, that's critical. I mean, one of the things that I think I've thought about, and I know other people are thinking about, I'm sure you have too, is how much of my role as a safety professional when I'm on site, working at job sites long term, is is those informal little chit chats you have with people that, oh, hey, how you doing? How the kids? How the kids? Oh, by the way, we're about to go work on this. Oh, okay, good to know, right? That stuff's not happening right now, right? If we're having this through Zoom meetings, everything's through the formal aspect. And so I'm really interested and concerned in some ways about those sorts of informal interactions and what the effects of losing those is going to be. And so as a safety professional, I think we need to be thinking about, okay, how am I going to create those sorts of collisions between people where I get out and I touch base with people more proactively than maybe I've done in the past? Just to see, hey, how are you doing? What do how are you managing all this? What are you working on? What are the concerns you have? I think, that the old open door policy, hey, come talk to me when you have problems, needs to be, the door's open so that I can walk outside the door and go proactively talk to people and find issues, not wait for them to come to me.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you bring up a very important aspect that's often overlooked within the safety profession and the safety field itself. I think we all intuitively know the value that those informal interactions actually bring. You usually tend to find out more information about why things aren't moving forward or opportunities to get things to really work the way you want them to from those kinds of informal interactions than you do from, say, maybe some of the formal things that we get involved with. That's such a good point that you bring out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even not even the information sharing informally, sometimes it's even just the relationship building, because if all our interactions are formal, it makes it easier to misunderstand someone. But if you're also kind of interacting with them relationally, just talking about, hey, what's going on with the kids and things like that, you give people the benefit of the doubt if they say something that isn't the perfect thing to say, right? And so the same thing happens with us. We're going to make mistakes in what we say to people in Zoom meetings and whatnot. If we don't have that relational connection, then people may actually take it personally more so than they wouldn't have otherwise. So I think we need to do more relationship building and have more of those kind of relational connections than maybe we would have otherwise.
Yeah, actually good points and good way of actually thinking forward like this. I think that's great. I don't think this kind of thing is going to go away anytime soon. So we have to learn how to really make this work for us. So awesome. Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Ron, hey, thanks for being on today. Really appreciate it. If you're up for it, I'd love to have you back again in the future, especially as things progress. I know, greatly appreciate your insights and always enjoyed your teachings and just pleasure just even knowing you. I think it's been just a wonderful relationship. So sounds
Absolutely.
good.
You're my hero.
I think it's the other way around, my friend. All right.
Uh,
Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye now.